Welcome back to Chess on Ice. Even if you've occasionally watched curling, there's a good chance you're unfamiliar with the newest form of the game, mixed doubles. The discipline is relatively new. The World Championships for this version of curling only go back as far as 2008, and mixed doubles will make its first ever appearance at the Olympics in 2018. If you've never seen this before, it'll look a little weird. The action is faster, the game starts with rocks already in play, and obviously there are fewer players on the ice. Let's do a quick rundown on what you need to know in order to understand this sport. Mixed doubles is a version of curling played by teams of two. As the name would suggest, these teams are made up of one male and one female player each. The scoring works the same way as in men's or women's curling, and most other rules of standard curling also apply. Games are generally 8 ends long, even in championship play. The first bit of weirdness is something you'll notice when the game begins. Each end starts with 2 rocks in play. In most cases, you'll see the rocks on the center line. The hammer team will have one on the back of the forefoot, while the team that throws first starts with a center line guard. Mixed doubles doesn't use the free guard zone rule that we normally see in most curling matches. Instead, neither team is allowed to eliminate any rock from play until the 4th stone, the second hammer rock, of the end. This prohibition, combined with the rocks that begin in play, make mixed doubles a game where big scores can happen in a hurry, and steals are much more likely among strong teams than in the men's or women's game. We're not done with the rule changes yet. Each team only throws 5 rocks per end. You may have already figured out that 5 doesn't divide evenly into 2. One player is tasked with throwing the first and last rocks, while the other will throw the 3 in between. Teams are allowed to change their throwing order between ends if they wish to do so. While watching, you might find that the players aren't always positioned in the same places throughout the game. There's no requirement that a player begin in the house, so while the non-throwing player might sometimes hold a broom for their partner, they'll often stay down at the delivering end instead and act like a sweeper. It's also common for mixed doubles players to sweep their own delivered rocks, either alone or with the help of their teammate. If that's not enough for you to process, there's also the concept of the power play. Each team may choose to invoke the power play once per game, and only when they have the hammer. When the power play is triggered, the rocks that are set before the end begins will move to the side of the ice. The hammer team will start with a rock on the wing just above the tee line, while the non-hammer team will have a corner guard. Typically, teams use the power play for one of 2 reasons, either as an attempt to generate a big end when they're behind, or defensively to defend a late lead by making it much more difficult for their opponents to steal. Finally, it's worth noting that while blanks would already be rare because of all the rocks in play, they're even less common thanks to an additional rule change. Instead of retaining the hammer, a team that blanks loses it, essentially giving up their advantage for free. Technically, teams have the option of taking the hammer or not. Practically, this makes no difference in competitive play, where I've never seen a team choose to play the non-hammer side. That's about it. Mixed doubles may be a bit odd, even by curling standards, but it isn't all that hard to follow once you get the hang of the rules. It's certainly a very different way of playing the game, and tends to really emphasize draw weight. With all the rocks in play, traditional defensive tactics aren't always viable. With mixed doubles now a part of the Olympics, there's sure to be more interest in this format, and I'll try to throw up a video about the game from time to time if there's interest. If you're a curler yourself, go out and try playing a game or 2. The ends fly by, and since you only need 2 players per team, it's easy to form a pickup game whenever the ice is free. Thanks for watching the video. If you've enjoyed it, please like and subscribe to the channel, where you'll find hours of additional discussion on curling strategy. If you're interested in supporting Chess on Ice, I'd also appreciate it if you'd take a look at our Patreon page, where you can chip in exchange for a number of rewards, including early access to videos and other exclusive content. Thanks again, and as always, good curling.